Good day, good afternoon, and welcome to another student view. So we're back in the boardroom. It's great to be in. Today we have Alec, who's going to introduce himself.
So hello everyone, my name is Alex. I'm a student from Moscow. I finished my undergrad at Higher School of Economics. It's a top-tier Russian financial university. So now I'm studying MSc Finance here at UCL, and I'm very glad that I'm here.
Thanks for being here. It's great. So today's topic, as you've probably all seen, read, heard, is basically going to be
private equity. Private equity. We're going to discuss the RJR Nabisco deal.
Yeah.
One of the most famous transactions probably in history. I saw on your LinkedIn, and since we work pretty closely, you are involved in the private equity and venture capital club.
Yes.
Tell us about that. How did it actually happen, and what is your role in that?
Also, maybe before we even get on anything, I think a lot of people who listen to this might not know what. I mean, there's always confusion between what VC and PE is. If we could have a small, maybe if you could define maybe what you think.
Yeah. So I can start with the big difference between the VC and PE is that venture capital primarily invests in very small startups which don't have any revenue at all, at the beginning, or it's negative. And private equity mostly invests in the well-established firms which can be described as a cash cows, because the main point of private equity is to buy a company using a lot of leverage and then pay down the debt and basically get all the equity they created by paying down the debt. That's the main difference.
Right.
Interesting. Well, I think it's just good to know maybe the difference, because I think a lot of people struggle to understand the difference.
Yeah, no, sure.
But from my understanding, it's always just seemed to be the life cycle of where the company's at. But
Basically.
That's simplicity. That's very basic.
Yeah, no, sure.
It's one way I've always tried to describe it to people who don't quite understand. But sorry, the question before about the VCPE club. Yeah, if you want to expand on that.
Yeah, sure. So when I was in my undergrad, I participated in student event management club. Basically, it was the same as the P and VC club we have here, but it was centered more on networking events for students. So we organized our faculty's birthday parties, some spring parties and everything. It was very fun, and I'm very glad that I found something similar to this at UCL. And that's why I decided to apply for the UCL's VC and PE club as a head of the events. But now I'm actually a director of events. Yes, something like this. Yeah, I think they're quite similar. I hope to believe that they head of the events. Yeah.
Director just sounds a lot.
Yeah, it's just a longer word.
It's a longer word, but it sounds more professional.
Sophisticated.
That's what matters, I guess. Yeah. Wow.
My responsibilities include making sure that the event itself runs smoothly, talking with the administration how we will help the event, how we will rent the rooms here at UCL, and organizing catering, and basically, and throughout the event, I'm making sure that everyone know what they're doing and when and where they should be in throughout the event. So basically, that's my...
Would you say that the club, to just touch on something, would you say it's more right now currently a lot of talks and a lot of professionals coming in, or is there a lot of networking as well? Just so people have an idea, I guess, what to expect if they were to join.
I'm just trying to figure out where should I... All right. We try to maintain balance. For now, we already had one panel discussion with the guys from the venture capital firms, and on the 9th of May.
Hopefully this gets out before then.
We're going to have another panel discussion with one guy from venture capital firm and two other from private equity firms. So again, it's going to be focused more on the it's going to be both networking and discussion with the professionals. But also we had an event with the level 39, which is like right below us, where we led a student delegation there, and they made a tour around the facilities. Also, they presented on how the level 39 works. It was very interesting.
Just short for our listeners, what is the level 39?
Level 39 is an accelerator made by the Canary Wharf Group, and it's
The word I've always used it called is the incubator, right?
Yeah,
that was what it's called. So the idea is like we incubate something. Essentially, you keep it, until it hatches. Well, I've always referred to it as like chicken eggs, maybe, or something.
Yeah.
So like
totally.
you're holding, from my understanding, it's like young firms or companies.
Very young firms.
Obviously grow, and incubating them in the sense that it helps them grow in a space. Such as we've been lucky to obviously be on the floor above them. But
as you said, it's an incubator, so they rent their space to very young startups. They also provide them with mentoring, with access to investors, so it's win-win situation. I think the most famous member of level 39 is Revolut.
Oh wow!
Oh, really?
Still there today, or?
No, I think they moved out somewhere here.
Because I thought they had a building around here now. Yeah, I didn't think they were in level 39 still. Okay, interesting.
I think the biggest company they now have is eToro. They're also there.
Like just their British or UK headquarters, right?
UK branch.
Yeah,
probably.
That's interesting. Yeah, sorry, I think we've got the main topic there.
Yeah, if you want to circle back to private equity and stuff, maybe just short. What fascinates you about private equity?
The business model.
That was quick.
Honestly, I'm a true supporter of the belief that companies' growth is more driven in the private hands rather than in the public hands, because we all know that when company is public, all management compensation, basically, like generally, is tied to the share performance and especially to the EPS, and it makes management to do some very, in my personal view, very unresponsible decisions on share purchases when they can spend this money on R&D, if they can, obviously. When a company is in private hands, the only benefit, the compensation of the management is based on the performance of the company, not on the performance of shares. So I think when a company is in private hands, the growth is more stable, more structured, and I think this is the best benefit of the company being private rather than public. And
I think also if the company is in private hand, it makes you more flexible to react. No, totally.
Yeah, but it's kind of it's a very tricky with private equity because, like, in private equity you have a lot of leverage and you need to pay down it. So they're restricted by it. But again, as you said, they're more flexible in what they want to do. And also the concept in private equity that fascinates me the most is add-on acquisitions, because for me it's like when we were young we had Lego sets which you buy two and then you combine them, like you buy two small robots and then you combine them into one big one. So basically that's the add-on acquisition. So you buy one company and you see that there's some flaw in some segment of the business, just acquire another company.
So I've always heard of that. I've always heard the most common one, or what I've always seen to be very similar, was they'd vertically buy in the sense that they'd buy the manufacturing and also the distribution part of two companies and together. And that's always the comparison or the example I've been given. That was essentially what you just described.
Yeah, the operational synergy.
Okay.
No, I think expansion through M&A is one of the most fascinating things to me. I absolutely love it. Speaking of expansion through M&A, let's talk about RJR Nabisco.
Expansion.
One of the most famous deals in history. Even a book got written about it. It's Barbarians at the Gate.
Yeah.
I saw that you did a post on LinkedIn for your PEVC club about the deal. Let's talk about that.
Can I ask something about the LinkedIn post? Just
yeah, of course.
So you do just everyone that doesn't know, Alex is very active on LinkedIn. It's amazing. Like, he's incredible. He's got a lot of comments, opportunities. Got a lot of connections through LinkedIn. Doing so, it's really impressive stuff. So please, we'll link him obviously down below as we do every episode.
Yeah.
Everyone's LinkedIn, but please check it out. But if you could just quickly, very briefly, before we talk about this, explain like how using LinkedIn's helped you, because I know you've actually been, you maybe haven't got a full like where you wanted to, but you've been given some opportunities, chances through LinkedIn. If you could talk about just like very quickly explain to people why it's important, maybe. Or
I think LinkedIn is all about building your own brand, like building yourself into a brand and making sure that you are recognizable in the professional space. And for me, LinkedIn gave me opportunities to talk with some very seasoned professionals, like I think some of MDs from not big banks, but like from boutiques with whom I talk and with whom I will try to maintain some kind of friendship, maybe. Yeah, hopefully. So yeah, it just it makes yourself recognizable in the professional space, and also for me it's very interesting. It's a win-win situation. Like I write posts for people to know more about the deals that happened a long time ago or just now, as I did with I think Monday's and Blackstone. And also while I write those posts, I understand some concepts that I did not understand earlier. So
it should be quite easy for you to tell us about this topic obviously we just brought up, since I think you've obviously written a post on LinkedIn about this. So sorry to interrupt. I just thought it was really important.
So I can give some facts. So the RJR Nabisco deal basically started from the very beginning when the family owned RJ Reynolds Tobacco Company merged with Nabisco. Ross Johnson became CEO. He had very high ambitions. He had at one point a private airline for the company. They did a leveraged buyout basically in the end with 25 billion led by KKR. All the big banks were involved: Morgan Stanley, KKR, Goldman Sachs, Salomon Brothers, Merrill Lynch, and the initial bid from the management group was $75 and got up to 109. What was so fascinating about this deal?
I think the most fascinating thing about this deal was the strategy that KKR implemented. So they basically, if you will see how many banks KKR hired to do this deal, it's like 7 or 10 biggest banks, biggest advisory firms, and their strategy was essentially to take everyone under their wing so that another bidding groups won't receive any established advisory firm. And the other thing that fascinates me is that there were I think there were 4 major bidding groups. 2 of them are KKR and RJR Management, which was led by Ross Johnson, and the other 2 I can hardly remember the names because I think they participated in the first 2 bidding rounds.
Yeah. I think First Boston was involved as well.
Yeah, First Boston was involved, and the other one, I don't quite remember. So the last thing I want to mention is that the highest offer was not $109 per share. It was something about $118 per share, and this offer was presented by RJR Management. But the last word is always made by the board of directors, and board of directors essentially have chosen KKR's bid because KKR has promised to keep all the employees at their place, and basically they were more favorite of the board of directors. Yeah.
No, totally. I mean, to this time, it represented basically the largest deal in history made. And I think ultimately why KKR got the offer, because the board of, not the board, the RJR management team did some valuations which didn't round up, basically. They valued some bonds and convertibles, which the board of directors just couldn't see logically. That's why ultimately they also got the offer then.
Yeah, I think the most interesting part is that the deal was made in the peak of LBOs, and the regulators didn't regulate the LBO industry as much. Yeah, they didn't care at all. And I think the debt level in this deal was around 90% or something. So it's just crazy.
Yeah, it was insane. Yeah, it just represent this insane time when everybody did LBOs. Absolutely amazing.
And right now it's around like 50-60% of debt level. Well, yeah, but also considering the current economic situation, it's very hard to maintain a high debt level.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, these interest rates. If you're interested in this deal, Barbarians at the Gate, amazing book, absolute thriller. But I think we are at the end of the episode, aren't we?
Yeah, so where can is this just a book that can be bought?
Yeah, it's a book. Amazon easily is, I think it's like 10 bucks.
Actually, how much do they pay you for sponsorship?
No, they did it all. It's not paid sponsorship. It's not advertising.
No, okay, not advertising. Sorry. But that's great. Is there any other? Because there's a lot of material to go out and find. I mean, there's a lot of markets. Like American market's huge for private equity stuff. Any resources you suggest apart from your own LinkedIn, of course? Any other resources you suggest or you quite enjoy?
I think if you want to have a broad understanding of what is happening right now in the private equity markets around the globe, is Bain Capital. They publish very good researches. So I recently read one about the situation in Asia. It was very interesting considering how the firms decide in which countries they want to perform a leverage buyout. So yeah, I think Bain Capital is the very good source.
Yeah, I can confirm. Yeah.
So I think that's it for today. Thank you very much, and remember to
subscribe,
like. We're trying to do that coordination up. Like, subscribe, smash that.
Smash the
follow
like
button,
button,
everything, and thank you very much. And
thanks for being here. It was
an
absolute pleasure.
Thank you for inviting me.
And we see you in the next episode. Bye bye.